Welcome back to High Stakes. Today, we will be discussing the following North Carolina NCAAF matches that is happening on Friday, September 22, 2023. We will be providing our team, total and prop picks for the day. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. If you want access to our premium picks, you can check out our Patreon page. You can find the link to our Patreon page in the description and comments section below. Wisconsin vs Purdue. Take the Badgers giving the points. The Badgers haven't wowed anyone by any means, with their two wins coming against Buffalo and Georgia State, both by 21 points. The offense is once again a ground-first attack, averaging 204 yards per game by rush so far, with 10 touchdowns. Shea Malusi, 40 carries, 268 yards, 4 TDs, and Braylon Allen, 36 carries, 255 yards, 4 TDs, are 4th and 5th, respectively, in the Big Ten in rushing yards. Going up against a Purdue defense that has allowed 132.7 rushing yards per game, the Badgers' run game could be poised for a big game. "We feed off each other, we love each other, and it makes it easy," said Malusi to 247sports.com. "I saw him make plays, so it made me step up, and I knew that I had to make some plays." On the defensive side of the ball, the Badgers have allowed 20.7 points per game over their first three. They are giving up 368 total yards per game, 11th in the Big Ten, with 274.7 yards coming through the air, 13th in the Big Ten. They have played better up from, allowing just 93.3 rushing yards per game while recording 10 sacks, tying them for second most in the conference. Linebacker Jake Chaney is one of 3 players with 2 QB sacks and is second on the team with 14 solo tackles. Chaney's 2 sacks accounted for a combined loss of 18 yards. Over the past decade, the Badgers have been dominant in this series, with a 7-3 outright win record and an impressive 10-0 record against the spread, Austrian shillings. Purdue has rarely come close to victory during this period, with only one instance where they finished within a field goal at the end of the game. In their most recent encounter in West Lafayette, the Badgers secured a decisive 17-point victory. However, the Boilermakers are coming off a disheartening 15-point loss to Syracuse, which raises concerns about their performance. In that game, Card, their quarterback, struggled significantly under pressure, and it's reasonable to anticipate that Wisconsin will apply similar or even more intense defensive pressure. Another key factor to consider is the contrast between Wisconsin's strong rushing game and Purdue's defensive vulnerabilities. Wisconsin boasts an impressive 5.7 yards per carry on average, ranking 14th in the nation, while Purdue's defense has been less effective, allowing an average of 3.9 yards per carry, which is the 3rd highest in the Big Ten. Furthermore, Purdue's defense has conceded 6 rushing touchdowns, the 2nd highest in the conference. Adding to this, Wisconsin has emerged victorious in 16 consecutive meetings between the two teams. Given these factors, it's our expectation that Wisconsin will secure another win, and I have full confidence that they will comfortably cover the spread in this game. Also take the over. The Boilermakers are looking for answers following a 15-point loss to a mediocre Syracuse team. They also opened the season with a loss to Fresno State, so they have put themselves in a tough position with a 1-2 mark in non-conference play. Defensively, they allowed 30.3 points per game, which was second most of any Big Ten team and 28th highest in the country. Linebacker Kydron Jenkins, who leads the team with 3 sacks, missed the second half of last week's game with a lower leg injury, and his status for this tilt is in jeopardy. The over is 7-3 in the last 10 meetings, with 4 straight and 5 of the last 6 games going over the total. Wisconsin alone has scored at least 30 points in each of the last 4 matchups, and I 100% expect them to do so once again against a weak Purdue defense. The Badgers' defense is far from elite, and Purdue should be able to get their passing game in motion against them. It's just a matter of finding the end zone, which surely they will do at least twice here. Both offenses have put up at least 20 points in each game this season, and both defenses have allowed at least 17 points in each game. North Carolina State vs Virginia. Take North Carolina State -9 points. After letting the game against Notre Dame slip away late, North Carolina State took out some frustration on VMI on their way to a 45-7 victory. The Wolfpack finished with 26 first downs and were led by Brennan Armstrong, who tossed for 264 and a score. Delbert Mims III stole the show on the ground as he had just 7 carries, but 2 rushing touchdowns. Julian Gray showed his speed as he returned a kickoff for a touchdown in the final minutes of the 3rd. North Carolina State took out some frustration against VMI, putting up a 3-score first quarter. One of those scores came from a Robert Kennedy pick 6. The offense was able to do largely whatever they wanted, finishing 10-14 on 3rd down and getting 26 first downs. Armstrong bounced back after tossing 3 interceptions in the game before. He also showed the effectiveness of his legs as he rushed for 39 yards, averaging over 6 yards per carry. The use of his legs has been key for the offense, as North Carolina State has been moving the sticks on third down at the 30th best rate in football. His favorite wideout has been Kevin Concepcion, who logged a 7-64-0 line, but the Wolfpack had 3 receivers that logged catches of 20 yards or more. The ground game has struggled, but the backfield was able to break open some explosive runs against VMI. Their 3.9 yards per carry could be tested here, as North Carolina State managed just 84 yards on the ground against Notre Dame. On the defensive side of the ball, North Carolina State wreaked havoc as they came away with 3 sacks and 7 tackles in the backfield. Along with disrupting the backfield, they took an interception to the house, courtesy of Robert Kennedy. During the season, the Wolfpack has done well to get off the field on third downs and held VMI to just 1-10 on third downs. Inside the red zone, the defense has been more lackluster as they have allowed foes to score inside the 20 on all of their attempts. This has largely been due to the lack of run defense North Carolina State exhibits. They're currently allowing over 5 yards per carry, which is 112th in football. They've been able to get in the backfield and bring the quarterback down at the 12th best rate in the country, but with the Wolfpack struggling to stop the run, opponents haven't been that keen on airing it out unless in obvious passing downs. They were still exposed through the air, though. The top MI target had 3 catches and averaged over 35 yards per haul. With the inability to come up with turnovers, just 1 per game, the Wolfpack will need to get stops on third downs against the fresh QB in Virginia. Even with Calandria being able to move the ball, he's shown that his lack of experience as a freshman has led to him making ill-advised throws. North Carolina State has shown they can move the ball, and Virginia is giving up over 450 yards per game. On top of that, the Cavs have struggled in the red zone, and their run defense will allow the Wolfpack to keep the playbook open. North Carolina State has proven they can get to the QB, and regardless of who's in the backfield Friday, North Carolina State should be able to disrupt Virginia through the air. Look for the Wolfpack to run away with this one. Also take over 48 points. The Virginia defense has been less than stellar to start the season, as they sit 120th in the country, allowing upwards of 42 points per game. They also sit 93rd in third down defense and have allowed foes to convert at a 45% clip. The defense held Maryland to 20 first downs, but they gave up 461 total yards with 342 through the air. They struggled to disrupt the passing game as they logged just 1 sack and didn't force any interceptions. In fact, they haven't come up with an interception all season. The ground defense has been exposed as they are allowing nearly 5 yards per tote. They gave up just 1 run of over 15 yards against Maryland and allowed just 3 yards per carry, which is a trend in the right direction. As highlighted, the Virginia defense has done little to nothing to slow opposing offenses. North Carolina State put up a staggering 26 first downs in their last contest, and this matchup will again favor their offense. I expect Calandria to continue to be under center for Virginia, and he's shown he can move the ball and isn't afraid to take the deep shot downfield. Neither of these red zone defenses has been strong, and North Carolina State has shown its vulnerabilities in stopping the run. I expect both teams to move the ball here.